John here at Daylight Design. Today I'm going to show you the step of taking some seedlings. These are tomato seedlings that were started in this is one 4-inch nursery pot with 4 seedlings, because it has our dividers are called 4 starts. So there are 4 chambers in this pot, so we got 4 separate grow plugs that we can transplant into larger pots. So I'm going to show you that step, taking them out of here and getting them into larger pots. The 4-inch pot, here's the label. It's so much foliage here, you're not going to be able to see the 4 chambers, even if I hold it up to your lens there. I'm going to try, but when we take this out, you're going to see the 4 plugs that were formed in this pot in the 4 chambers. The first thing I'm going to do is pull out these 4 wicks. And then I'm going to turn the pot upside down. And I'm just going to squeeze it a little bit. And you can see there's quite a bit of root action going on in there. It's fully root bound, but that's not undesirable in this case, because we want some good solid root plugs for transplant. So this is going to be easy to take apart because of the 4 chambers. I don't know if you can see that. I'm pulling it apart using these 4 dividers. So when I set these down here in the middle, I'm going to have these 4 plugs. I'm pulling the partitions out so you can see the 4 separate plugs. These transplants, we're all sharing one small pot. They had dividers, but then they were living in very close quarters. Now they're each going to have their own apartment, so each one's going to get its own 4-inch pot. They were all sharing one pot, but now they're going to each have their own. The soil I have, and the temptation now is just to go ahead and fill this with soil, but I've got to remember to put the wicks in. And that's something that you'll forget once in a while, and after you've done it a few times, you'll remember. If you forget to put the wicks in, you'll have everything nicely planted and turn around and realize it has no way of getting water. So you have to do it all over again. So I got my wicks in place. I should be better at this. Anyway, so I got my wicks in place. The soil that I'm using is a coir-based seed starting mix from Burpee that comes in a brick. So 2 small bricks that take very little space and are easy to ship make 8 quarts of very nice seed starting mix. And I suspect it has something else besides coir in it, because it works very, very nicely. But I'm always cooking, so I threw in a dash of tomato fertilizer. For each quart of this, I put in 1 teaspoon of tomato fertilizer, and for each quart of this, I added a half a cup of very nice compost. And compost I use most often is from Vermont Compost Company. It's called Vermont Compost Plus. So I need to make the space for my transplant, so I'm going to use my Sharpie pen here. You can use anything, you can use your fingers, to create space for the transplant. Put him in there. Get some soil packed in around him to hold him in place. And he's going to be happy in this spot, in this container, until he goes into a permanent place outside, either in a large pot outdoors or in the ground outdoors. And some of what I do here will be given to neighbors. That completes the segment on taking seedlings out of a small 4-start setup and getting each one into its own 4-inch pot. So we got, out of one pot, we've got 4 like this. And this is where they're going to live until they get transplanted into the ground or transplanted into very large pots outdoors. This is also a very convenient size for taking these guys out for hardening off. So they're going to be out and back in again, so they're not too big to be carrying back and forth. That's it for this segment.